No dog attire for
You got
us.
this, Jen.
All right. We do.
Yep.
Hey, Renton. Welcome to Renton Live, episode 19. I'm Jen. That's Dave. And we are your hosts for this evening. Welcome.
Hi, Renton. How's it going?
So let's start off tonight's show with Correction Corner.
Correction Corner.
We've been sent to Correction Corner.
I'm living in the Correction Corner right now, and we do have two corrections. So we have a regular viewer, Bobster Bear. Thank you, Bobster Bear, because you called us out on the last episode saying, hey, who was the winner from the last photo contest, which was involving flags. And we've yet to announce a winner because I don't know exactly who the winner is. We'll figure it out one day. So for keeping us on the path of honesty, Bobster Bear, if you're out there, we're going to have the wheel of prizes spun for you during the chamber check-in for an opportunity to win something cool from a local business.
I love it.
So stay tuned. The second thing is I've mentioned a couple times in these previous episodes about our 11 viewers, when in fact, it's 511 viewers. Way to go, Renton. We're amazing. So thanks for tuning in again. Please continue to tune in, and let's push this viewership up a couple more notches. So we appreciate you. Keep us on our toes, and help us out when we stray off the path.
Yeah.
So, Correction Corner. Complete.
I love it. I'm sorry, nobody puts David in the corner, but we needed to. I mean, we got called out, right?
Correct. It happened.
Correct.
So,
yeah.
Correct.
So I think that we should push it to 7-11, like 5-11. Sure. We need that jump. 7-11. Let's take it to the next level.
I'm on board.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey-o.
Hey-o. So we got another theme day, if you will. What's today, Jen?
Today is National Dog Day. It's kind of a big deal, right?
It's kind of a big deal. Very exciting. Yeah. Very exciting. And, we're going to sprinkle in some random dog factoids throughout the show. Not really a quiz question, just some interesting factoids that Jen found doing some research. What's the first one?
So, random factoid number 1 is that a dog's nose print is unique as a human's fingerprint. So, there you have it. According to the American Kennel, the AKC, that's what they have on there. So, each one of those nose prints that have smudged your windows is unique and only is owned by your pooch. So, I'm kind of digging that.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. And today, for National Dog Day, we have a veterinary hospital, Pacific Heights Veterinary Hospital. They are here with us to talk about oral hygiene for our pooches. So we are going to actually bring in
Dr. Rudolph.
Yeah. That's right. All right. Oh.
Okay. Dr. Rudolph, are you there?
Yes, we are.
Hi.
Oh, no problem.
So, Dr. Rudolph, welcome to Renton Live.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
Yeah. So I gave a random factoid that I, in honor of National Dog Day, and it was that no dog nose prints no two are the same. Do you know that to be true?
No dog prints?
Their nose.
Oh,
their
nose prints. I do believe that is true as far as I know.
All right.
Nice. All right. So the Google was right on that one. I'm liking it. That makes each putt even more special. So you're joining us from Pacific Heights Veterinary Hospital. And again, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for you and your staff for coming. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about your clinic?
Okay. So I'm sorry the audio or the video is not working. We had intended that to work, but apparently I'm on my server, and so it's not because we had a whole bunch of stuff to show you guys. But one of the topics, first of all, we want to say Happy International Dog Day. So that's very exciting. And we want to talk a little bit about dentistry and pets and the importance of it and how it enhances the pet's well-being. So the first thing is kind of why we do dentistry. One thing is that dogs have the same nervous system as people do. And so we know that when we get a toothache, it can be really debilitating. And the same thing is true for dogs as well as cats. Dogs too, we're talking about today. They may seem like they have an increased tolerance just because they don't show pain as much as we might or complain about it as much as we might. But it's really important to make sure that we take care of their oral pain. It can be a really big deal on their quality of life. And also, it can prevent certain diseases. So, a lot of tartar and periodontal disease can cause bacteria to go into the bloodstream and affect the kidneys, the liver, and the heart, just like it does in people. And we tend to recommend actually the American College of Veterinary Dentistry. So yes, there are dental specialists out there that only do veterinary dentistry, and they do not do general practice. They do have extra degrees specifically on animal mouths in general. And they do recommend that at 2 years of age to have oral x-rays done on the pet. The reason is because there can be a lot of changes that happen underneath the gum lines that we don't know about. And but other reasons, other than being just a young pet, are if there's any visible red gums or tartar, if they have bad breath, if they're not eating, if they have any oral sensitivity or drooling, if there's any swelling around the mouth, or if they're just generally grouchy, those can all be linked to dental disease. It can also be linked to things like oral tumors or enlarged tonsils, things of that sort. And so it's important to get those things looked at and taken care of. And with the diseases that they tend to have, a lot of large dogs will have broken teeth because of the things that they might chew on. They also, or like if you throw a ball with them, sometimes that can affect them. And some dogs are just goofy and will just kind of whip their head around sometimes and have a question?
Hey, Dr. Rudolph. My apologies for interrupting, but we are having a little bit of technical difficulty hearing you. Sometimes you come in like gangbusters and you got some really important information for us. So maybe we could find that sweet spot and you could come back and join us. Would that be something? Because our viewers will be missing out on the great information that you're giving.
Oh, okay. I'm sure that sounds fine. Can I come back in about 10 minutes or so? Is that okay? Or do you prefer a different day?
No, I think that you can come back in 10 minutes. I think that that would be fantastic. And like I said, you got some good stuff going there and it's just a little intermittent, but we want you to work that out and get you right back on. How's that?
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. We'll do that.
Okay, all right. So we will have Dr. Rudolph and her staff come back here shortly. So I mean, come on, throw the lady a bone. Her audio was a little wonky, right?
Perfect. Throw her a bone. I like it. We need a pause. We can easily pause. No big deal.
Oh, no pun intended. Pause.
This is all part of a live show. We just
It is.
Yet, so
And that was too good to miss. So, you know, we're gonna have her join back in. Make sure that we can get that information out there. And until then, I mean, I could juggle.
Well,
or do you have something else for us?
I think we do have something else. We have, you know, an interesting video for the audience.
We do.
You know, we understand that our puppies and our four-legged friends, we like to take them places.
Oh, definitely.
This, you know, interesting little video is a clip that includes local businesses here in downtown Renton that you can take your puppy into, take your dogs to. they're welcome. So we're going to go ahead and cue up this clip and let the shenanigans begin.
I love it.
That was a hard
Excuse me. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
News.
Oh, 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 oh my. Where do you go from there?
I don't know where else you can go. I mean, that's like ceiling level video. That was amazing. So thank you to Roxy and her pet dragon, and
Yes.
taking the dragon around town. That was great. And again, special shout out to all these businesses that you can bring your puppies to, and that embrace our four-legged friends. It's amazing.
They do. And you know what? We're lucky. There's quite a few of them around here.
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
So now we have a chamber check-in.
Chamber check-in. Let's do it.
Chamber check-in.
Welcome aboard, Chamber.
Tell us what you got.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
So, you guys wanna make Bobster Bear wait a bit to spin the wheel, or do we want to spin the wheel right off the bat?
I mean, has he made any comments? Hopefully he's here. What do we do if he's not here?
I don't see Bobster Bear yet, but that doesn't mean he's not there.
All right.
Well,
maybe he'll show up, but I say let's make him wait, and we'll spin that at the end.
all right, cool. Well, so today we had an event at the chamber. It was the new teachers virtual event. So we actually welcomed in all of the new staff for the Renton School District. We had educators and administrators, different staff members that joined us to just welcome them all in and kind of get a face-to-face. It was a very positive experience. Everyone's really hopeful for this new school year, and something that we talked about is even teachers that have tenure, this is an entirely new school year for them, so everyone is a new teacher technically. But we had a wonderful turnout. We had about 100 educators from the district join us. We talked about different resources that they have access to, and we had a magnificent keynote speaker named David Watson, who spoke about the impact that a teacher made in his life and how it changed the trajectory for his entire life. A teacher made that big of an imprint that it completely changed his life, and he's now the vice principal of St. George Middle School, I believe. But anyway, it was awesome. It was great. It was wonderful to see people. I know I was missing those connections. But that also takes me to the ahead of the class. So this entire duration of Renton Live throughout the weeks, we've had different teachers join us for to celebrate that they're finalists for ahead of the class, which are examples of excellence in education. So we've got to talk to a few of them about what their projects are and what things they're working on. But we actually have a little clip to announce the winner. Ferret, if you don't mind playing that ahead of the class clip, that would be great. Technical difficulties. And you guys are going to have to stay tuned till next week to find out who that ahead of the class winner is, when they can actually join us and we can announce it live to them and celebrate with them. So tune back in next week to actually see that winner. The other thing that I keep banging over your guys' head every single week is the census. fill out the census. Fill it
Nope.
out. 10 minutes of your life to make a huge impact and make sure that you are counted. Super important. We had an awesome event last weekend, an ice cream social. A bunch of people came out, filled out their census. Renton is actually at like 70%, which is super high for not only our county, but also the state and the nation. So you guys are doing great, but let's try and get to 100. I know that we can do it. Another really cool thing that I have to talk about is Top Chef auditions. So there's a Top Chef amateur audition coming up that we have heard about through a couple different restaurants in the area. So we wanted to share that information with you guys. If anyone out there is interested in auditioning, here is that information for you. It's a really great opportunity. Show off your skills, represent your city. And if you end up auditioning for that, please let us know. So another great thing and opportunity that's going on right now, there are some blades that are out there in the world. They're from like some kind of plant, like nuclear plant, these giant fans. But they're about 250 pounds, 6 feet tall, and 36 inches wide. They're a great canvas for anyone who's looking to make some art, but the Renton Downtown Partnership has access to these fans. And if anyone is interested in painting one of these and, you know, sharing their craft, painting this, it's something that they want to put up around town as different art pieces. So if you have any interest in that, please contact the Renton Downtown Partnership. The email that you can contact them at is rdp@gorenton.com. And you guys said it was National Dog Day, right?
That's what we're going with.
That's it.
Oh, well, last week we asked viewers to submit photos of their furry friends at home, and we had quite the response. So a lot of you out there really love your dogs and really love your pets. So we have a little slideshow. I think so. Are you able to play the slideshow, Baird? Awesome. Yeah, the response was great. So thank you all so much for sharing your pups at home. It was a lot of fun to go through these emails.
Fantastic.
That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Thank you, everybody, for submitting these amazing photos. It's great.
Yeah, no bad days after watching that. That's for sure. That was amazing.
No. Yeah, it's really fun. So just a reminder, if you guys have anything that you want to share with us or any cool things that you and your pets have been up to during quarantine, just send those images or media files to us at info@gorenton.com. And before I head out, you guys want to spin the wheel for Bobster Bear?
Let's
do
do
it.
this. Let's do it.
If I can call where it lands, he gets double prize. Okay.
All right, what's your guess?
I'm gonna go with Sparkle.
I'm gonna go
Alright.
with Disneyland. Get back to me.
All right.
Wheel of prizes.
Wheel of prizes.
Can't see it.
Vince's.
Then whoa. Congratulations, Bobster Bear. Hit up the chamber to claim that prize. You got a week, I guess.
I
Yep.
love it.
Until
for
next.
keeping us on our
give him.
toes.
Yeah. We'll give him till next week to watch the episode.
Cool.
So.
All right.
All right.
I'm
All right.
digging.
I'll see you later, guys.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank
Bye.
you.
Boom.
So, so all those pooches, I mean, come on. That was pretty awesome, right?
Agreed.
So, hey, if Renton, if you're watching right now, why don't you type in the comments? Let us know where you like to take your pooch and the places that are pet friendly. So, in case some of our viewers aren't aware, they will be, and they can share your favorite locations. So, I think that would be awesome. And we are ready to bring back Dr. Rudolph. Back to the show. So when we are ready from Pacific Heights Veterinary Hospital, we are connecting with Dr. Rudolph right now, and she is going to keep going, educating us on dental care for our poochies.
No
That's
problem.
perfect. Dr. Rudolph, thanks for coming back.
Mute button.
May-
Hi, so I think I'll go back up one. So we're waiting in a different waiting room. I don't know if that is helpful.
Audience.
We have another waiting room open. So it might be if I can close this one, that might go with the other one that's open. Okay, all right, I'll go ahead and close this one and I'll be right with you guys.
No problem. We're hanging out. We're hanging out. Jen, what do
hanging
you?
out.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I do have a question for you, Dave.
Tell me.
Pooch. Do you have a pooch?
I do. I've got my good old buddy Rufus, who he's right here asleep at my feet, and he's a 15-year-old guy. He's a mystery puppy. You know, we got him at the pound years ago, and
That's kind.
yeah, he's a good old man. You know, speaking of dental work, he's had 3 teeth removed, and he gets himself into shenanigans, but mostly at this point, he's 7 naps a day. So right now, I think he's on 5th nap, is what we call it, and he's living the dream.
That's my kind of day.
Yeah, he's great.
All right, I'm gonna raise my cup to Rufus.
Hey, yeah. It's Rufus. Cheers. Yeah, what do you got? Hey, I got high quality H2O as well.
Yeah. While we are waiting for Dr. Rudolph to join, I have a factoid.
Give it. Sure.
All right. Another random factoid. Are you familiar with the Beatles?
I am.
All right, here we go. The song A Day in the Life by the Beatles has a frequency embedded that only dogs can hear.
True?
True.
True. Wow.
So thank you, Sir Paul.
Sure. Thank you, Sir Paul. I guess somebody out there in Rentonville, give it a test. Do that song. If you have a dog, let us know what the dog's reaction is.
Yeah, do they go?
Send it to us. Exactly. Why would you do that?
I don't know, but I mean, why do we do a lot of the things we do?
It's fun and weird.
That's right. So, can we get an update to see how? Okay. All right.
Well, what do you say? Could we just, unfortunately, we'll move on to the next guest?
Yep. And we're gonna go ahead and do that. So now, you ready for it, David? It's
All right,
almost it's like a chamber check-in number 2.
let's do it. Bring
Yep,
'em on. Bring it on.
we're bringing on Seattle Southside Chamber. 3 people.
3 people. I can do the math. That's easy.
Yep. We got one.
Hey, all right.
There's one of them.
No problem. Hi, guys.
Hi. Welcome to Renton Live.
Hello, how is everybody?
We are
great.
fantastic. How are you?
Things are good. I just my puppy just left the room. Jojo. So when you guys are playing the video and every time the doorbell rang, he was like, ah. Here he is.
Awesome. Let's see. Fun.
Oh, he's got a heart.
Oh, cute. Love it.
Hi, Renton. It's so good to see everybody.
What is JoJo's bandana?
Right? Yeah, he's loving it.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
absolutely. All right, now he's leaving with my 10-year-old son.
So again, welcome in.
you.
You guys are here to talk to us about a creative economy.
Yes, absolutely. And so I don't know if you have a PowerPoint that somebody can share, and if not, then I'll just, okay, perfect.
Yep.
Awesome.
So that is getting queued up, and so we have, it's Andrea, correct?
Yes.
And
absolutely.
Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hello.
You're the silent one of the group.
Perfect.
Oh.
All right. So I can't actually see the PowerPoint, so I'm just gonna have to kind of, go go by trust here. All right, good. So again, just thank you so much, for the introduction and the opportunity to be here. It was great hearing a little bit from Dr. Rudolph. And again, watching the videos, I had no idea that dragons and dogs could be such great friends. So again, love it. And at the Seattle Southside Chamber, we are also proud supporters of dogs business and the work the Renton Chamber does to support the community. And again, just good to be here to talk a little bit about our shared focus. I'm just getting oh look, oh yeah, now if I'm in the gallery view, I can see the PowerPoint. How awesome is that? Thank you, Renton Chamber of Commerce, for that tidbit in the chat. Fantastic. So again, just awesome to be here. We share the same passion of community coming together. So next slide, please. So, for the last, 7 years of my professional career has been focused on economic and community development. But prior to that, I worked exclusively in the performing arts. And so I worked as an actor, a stage manager, and a production manager. And again, so grateful to be here and for the experiences and the people that I met along the way. And we'll talk to some of those people a little bit later today after my presentation with Michael Moore with Arts Tech Group. So what is the creative economy and why should you care, right? So simply put, it's about economic development. It's about, cultivating and supporting. You can't, oh my gosh, the dog is like behind my head, like nuzzling me as I'm giving this, talk. I love International Dog Day. And, it's about supporting our past, and our future, right? So the creative economy stretches across, every sector. And some sectors are easy to recognize, right? Like the performing arts or concerts. And some are maybe less obvious, but what rings true across all sectors is that the arts mean business. Next slide, please. And so the creative economy connects not only the diverse sectors of our economy, but also our society, bringing us together to share stories and ideas that help lift up and build strong communities. Our environment, linking conservation to commerce with millions of dollars and thousands of workers and careers and livelihoods, directly dependent, on the arts and the creative economy. Next slide, please. And so how much money are we actually talking about, right? And so according to the Americans for the Arts, they've done many different studies, and their latest study is the 5th study that they've done on the nonprofit arts and the culture industry's impact on the economy. And that documents economic contributions of the arts in 341 diverse communities. As we know, South King County, full of diversity. And regions across the country representing all 50 states and the District of Columbia. And so nationally, the nonprofit arts and culture industry generated 166.3 billion, and that is billion with a B, of economic arts and culture. And again, this is activity from 2015. In 2015, it was 63.8 billion in spending by arts and culture organizations, and then an additional 102.5 billion in event-related expenditures, by their audience. And so again, it's not just the money that the arts bring in or the arts put out. It's the money that is generated from the activity, from the growth. And so all of that activity supports 4.6 million jobs and generated 27.5 billion just in revenue to local, state, and federal governments, which is a yield well beyond kind of the collective 5 billion just in arts allocations. Next slide, please. And so that's the national numbers. And so for our state, this is 2018 data. But for our state, that translated into 305,000 jobs, and that's 28.9 billion in revenue. And again, we don't have updated numbers for 2019. And of course, the pandemic has really shifted and challenged the arts sector significantly, with revenues that are down over 58%. But again, I just want to say arts are essential services. They represent the best of us. They support our communities and drive economic development. And I just want to say that again, because I think it's really important. The arts and entertainment are essential. And not only for our economy, but for our mental health, our economic well-being, and the well-being of all of our communities. Next slide, please. So what can we do to support our creative economy today and then the future, and especially the workers in this industry that are suffering? And the short answer is we need to continue to advocate. A huge part of what chambers do is advocate for our communities. And so we've been working a lot advocating for investment and support for both arts organizations and workers. And that means support for projects and initiatives that are designed to boost the creative economy. We have our Washington State has a creative district program. So we are working very hard on that and supporting that program, for our local communities. King County also has a phenomenal resource with Kate Becker. She wasn't able to be here with us today, but she is a phenomenal, advocate and resource, for, workers and the creative industry with the county, just to help, again, support and encourage, growth within the sector. And I'm sure if anyone has any questions or need to connect either with the state agencies or the county agencies, Diane at the Renton Chamber, or I, happy to connect you. And then next slide, just the last slide is my contact information. So if anyone wants to reach out, if you are an artist, if you are a worker, if you have questions or want support, maybe you're working on a grant opportunity, you're working to, collaborate across jurisdictions. Maybe you're thinking about starting your own creative district, planning committee. anything that we can do to help support the creative economy in South King County. We say all the time, chambers of commerce, we build bridges, not walls. And so we're happy to help and be a support structure and system for everyone. So that's my presentation. And then I'm happy to introduce Michael if he wants to just kind of give a little bit more of the, that's the 30,000, foot level on what's happening in the nation, what's happening in the state, kind of a little bit about what's happening in the county. And then Michael, you live and breathe it every day, working in the creative economy.
It's very true. Yes. It's probably one of Renton's best kept secrets that tucked away in the city is Arts Tech Center, run by the Arts Tech Group. And what we do is we bring the concepts that designers and the creative types have together with the requisite physical aspects, sometimes constraints, schedules. We live at the intersection of ideas, physics, reality, budgets, all of that. We bring it together and we align scope and budget to make creative events, creative things happen. We're most frequently involved in productions for theaters. In recent years, well, actually over about the last 20 years, most of the shows at the Fifth Avenue Theater were built here in Renton. Seattle Opera, built here in Renton. That's regional things that are done here. Seattle Rep occasionally utilizes us, although they have their own shop. There are a number of shops around, but what we have is the largest, and we serve not just our region or the state, we serve the nation. It's very common for us to work coast to coast. Designers come here internationally and bring their ideas. We put them onto the shop floor. And when it's completed, on time and on budget, because the arts have to really adhere to very strict criteria of time and money, then we put it on a truck and it goes, who knows? Most recently, we did a show for Houston Opera. And give you an idea of the scope of the project, we whittled it down to about $425,000 for one show. This is not unusual. The scope of this, in fact, is that as an arts organization, we bring money into our arts community. We bring projects, and the money that's donated elsewhere reinforces our arts community, our people that work in this community, and gives, therefore, everyone in our region a much richer, almost literally, experience because of the strength of our arts community. Needless to say, the pandemic has clobbered everybody in the arts. When it began, we had roughly $500,000 lined up in the coming few months, and overnight it all went away. But we're in a unique position here at Arts Tech Center because we have resources to fabricate anything. Maybe not a space shuttle, but we could make something that looked a lot like it. We've done things, if you've been to McCaw Hall and looked at in the entryway, there's a huge swirling sculpture that hangs from the ceiling. That was built here in Renton at Arts Tech Center. In 2006, the monorail train sideswiped and they tore half a dozen doors off of one train and a couple off the other. And the city of Seattle looked all over the planet for somebody that could make new doors for to repair the train. They ended up coming here to Arts Tech Center. If you go on board the train and have a look at the end that suffered, you won't be able to tell, but there is a very small label on the top of the new doors that says they were built here in Renton. Arts Tech Center is an active part of the community. And right now, what we're doing, we're looking at smaller projects. We've done some video work for Microsoft, some little projects for Amazon, things like that. But we don't like our resources to sit idle, and we're used to focusing on the nonprofit sector and being a resource. Even though we're a for-profit business, we actually cut everything to the bone to do the best we can to serve the community. And we've come up, I don't know if we have any slides available here. I was a little late coming to the table, but I have a printout here that I can raise to the camera here, perhaps.
Well,
What I'm holding up there is what we're calling a quick shed. We're thinking about how can we help the homeless situation, address people in need. And we brought our methodologies that we use in stage scenery to bear upon the notion of a shelter. And we've come up with a shelter that fits very compactly in transportation, like scenery. You have to minimize your transportation costs. So it's built with shipping containers as a cookie cutter, if you will. So there's no component that won't fit in and maximize the space within a 40-foot shipping container. We can put 24 of these small houses in a shipping container. And when they arrive, they can be pulled off not with a forklift, not with machinery. The component pieces are such that you and I can pick one up, carry it out of the truck, set it on the ground on adjustable feet so it can adapt to the contour of the terrain it's sitting on. So you adjust the feet, level the platform, the walls go on without any hardware, without any tools. If you have the walls, you have everything you need to put together a weather-tight enclosure that is easily cleaned or sanitized, can come back apart, be folded up, move to another site if you need to. And we're producing these things. We have the prototypes set up in our shop yard here. They've been out in the weather for the last month or so being tested. So as creative types, we think outside the box.
absolutely.
What can we do with the tools, skills, and people we have at hand and contribute to the community in every possible way? So until the theater comes back and perhaps beyond, we hope to be serving the community in new ways that we hadn't before. So that's the creativity part of being in the creative industry, I suppose.
Absolutely.
For sure. That is fantastic. I mean, I loved hearing about all the wonderful theater aspects and local and afar that you guys have made scenes and that's fantastic.
As I say, it's one of Renton's best kept secrets. We joke
Yeah.
amongst ourselves that we're a top secret art laboratory.
I
Nobody-
like it. I like it.
Secrets out.
Just the other day, I delivered a small project to the IKEA Performing Arts Center here.
Mhm.
They needed just some production tables that could fold up and sit on the back of the seats in the house while they're in the rehearsal process. So we banged those out and sent them over there. So we support the community at all levels possible.
That's fantastic.
What's also just really important to reiterate is, again, as Michael is saying, the creative economy and the workers and the creative industry really do make the impossible happen every day. And, I think that the rest of the world has kind of been, pushed into this focus of, how do we pivot? How do we be resilient? How do we shift, our thinking, to still, be marketable or, still adjust the scope of what we do so that, we can stay in business. And, the creative economy does that every day, right? Every day, it is how do we find the creative solutions to the practical problems, that we need to tackle together. And so whether that's homelessness, or, whether that's the monorail or whether that's, Wagner's Ring Cycle, right? Like, it's again, these are the people that you want in your corner. And I know, I joke all the time having, my background being in professional theater and now being in economic development, give me theater people any day of the week, right? I mean, they'll get it done, right? Because we're used to thinking, and you kind of hate to say it, used to thinking outside the box. But it's that creative problem solving that is so important, whether you run an office, whether you're a manufacturer, whether you're a retail shop or a restaurant. We all need to be cultivating our, creative analytical skills. And that's what the arts do. The arts teach you empathy. The arts teach you to find those, creative solutions to practical problems, which is why, they're so important and so essential. So appreciate you sharing, Michael, a little bit about, your business and, what you're doing to, keep the creative economy sector going strong.
Yeah. Michael, real quick, can you repeat the name of your business name? I couldn't quite catch it.
Oh, Arts Tech Center.
Arts Tech Center.
That's the facility. And our business within is the Arts Tech Group.
Okay, thank you. Arts
Yeah.
Tech.
That's
Perfect.
fantastic. And I agree with you, Andrea. It's all about adaptability and, taking a chance. When you're served lemons, you make lemonade. And it sounds like there's a lot of good lemonade going on right now. I do have a question for you. Who does South Sound Chamber represent? What cities are represented in South Sound Chamber?
Sure, absolutely. So we started in the 60s in the city of Burien, and then kind of combined with the city of SeaTac to be the, Highline Area Chamber of Commerce. In the 80s, we joined with the city of Tukwila to become the Southwest King County Chamber of Commerce. And then early 2000s, added the city of Des Moines. And then most recently, 2016, added Normandy Park. So the cities that we primarily, focus on are Burien, SeaTac, Tukwila, Des Moines, and Normandy Park. Again, like I said, we have, members that are in Alaska, right? So, there's no, true kind of geographic borders. And again, we appreciate our partnership so much with the Renton Chamber just because, we are such good collaborators, and neighbors, and just, appreciate that partnership. So primarily, like I said, it's that Southwest King County. But like I said, we work with businesses in Alaska and Ellensburg and, all over.
That's fantastic. Well, collaboration is key. I can say that. And Michael, my day job, I'm a recreation professional. And man, I've been looking for a guy like you for a really long time.
Well, come on by.
Yeah, I have a budget about as big as a peanut. But wow, my wheels are spinning. Well, we appreciate you guys taking the time to join us on Renton Live, and that was some really good information. And David, we were answered. What is a creative economy?
Absolutely.
We thought that there was going to be math involved. I personally got nervous.
There's a lot of numbers involved because it's billions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of jobs, but yeah, no math required necessarily.
I know there's a whole lot of people chomping at the bit to get back to see that creativity and to feel it, live it, hear it, be in the moment. So hopefully if we all do our part, we will soon be back together doing those things again.
Absolutely. Appreciate the opportunity. Thanks, you guys.
Absolutely. You guys
Thank
have
you.
a great evening.
Bye.
Take care. Wow, that was good information. Renton's best kept secret. I mean, seriously, I'm going to be bragging about that and telling all my friends.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I had no idea. And
Swim in, the arts world by any means, but who knew?
right, who knew? And I'm glad we did.
Yeah, shifting gears to making, basically a teeny home, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, that's outside the box. No pun intended. What do we got? What do we got going?
I think we have our final guest. So we're bringing on Tawnee from Wyldwood Creative. He's going to school us in the art of quilts.
Quilts.
And hey, look, it's a ceiling.
It's a ceiling. I wonder if she's dancing on the ceiling. Oh, what a feeling.
Run. That's a sign of trouble. Hopefully she's there. So, yeah.
There she is. Hey.
It definitely has been an episode of exciting technical adventures.
It has.
Not afraid.
You know what, though? I am a fan of the Misfit Toys. There's Connie.
There she is.
Ta-da! All right. Hey, we're going on a stroll. We're going on a stroll.
Wow.
Whoa, hey,
I'm digging this. I'm getting my steps in.
So I can't see you guys, so you'll have to ask me what you need me to do. But I thought I'd start by introducing my dog for National Dog Day. Come here, Willow.
yeah.
She's being very shy.
Oh,
Yeah, stage fright. We're not,
you know what, Tony? A lot of people do that when they say Dave and I. So it's okay.
hey, what the heck? Okay.
So we are so happy you're here with us again. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And you are here because you are going to give us kind of a high level step-by-step process for quilting. But we got a question for you.
Okay.
Inquiring minds want to know, why the name Wyldwood?
Great question. So I am not originally from the Pacific Northwest. I'm from Utah. Moved here about 7 years ago. And when I was getting ready to open the store, I knew that I wanted to incorporate an aspect of the Pacific Northwest into the name. And so I sat down one day and brainstormed. I wrote down woods and river and forest and trees and just kind of those kind of words and landed on Wyldwood. And then, of course, went to go register the domain and Instagram, and they were taken. So that is why it's spelled W-Y-L-D, W-O-O-D, is a little bit better for branding.
Wow.
Well, okay.
So, okay, I'm curious though, because I'm from Utah as well. Where are you from?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Where are you from specifically?
So I grew up out in Far West, which no one knows where that is. It's near Ogden. And then I went to school in Salt Lake City, and I met my husband in Park City. So kind of along the Wasatch Front there.
Fun. Now, when you say school in Salt Lake, is that like high school or University of Utah?
College. I went to Westminster College in Salt Lake City.
Hey, right on. I grew up right up the street from there on 17 South.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, right there.
Sugar House is pretty cool.
Yep, my mom still lives there. Hi, Mom. She's not watching. She's not part of the 511. She loves it, but not that much.
We know that this Renton is random, but come on, 2 former Utah people. I mean, I'm digging this. I'm digging it. All right. Well, shall we kind of dive right in, and you tell us what you need for us? So again, we're going over this kind of step by step. I noticed on your website is about a 4-step process. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I've broken it down into a 4-week course, and we'll kind of go over a different step each week. Normally I do a 5-week course in person, but I had to adapt it to be via Zoom. So things got shifted around a little bit, but today I'm going to kind of just take you through what we go over in the class and just a really quick rundown of what quilting is, because I think a lot of people don't know all the steps that go into making a quilt.
Definitely don't. Show us.
So we're going to start talking about fabric. So one of the weeks we're going to go over how to select fabric, make sure that you have good composition, good color theory, good value in your quilt. And then we'll go over how to cut your quilt with a rotary cutter and a ruler, and how to not cut yourself using these tools. I have this one set up here really quick, and we're just going to finish cutting a couple of squares here. But a rotary cutter and ruler is great because it is a very efficient way to cut a lot of fabric. And just like that, we have 12 squares cut. So that's kind of the first step. That's for week 1, is getting all your fabric cut. And then we're gonna swing over to the sewing machine here. Week 2, we are going to go over sewing all of your pieces together. Quilting requires a lot of precision. So in this class, we'll go over how to get everything really nice and crisp and sharp looking. But it's a lot of figuring out a 1/4-inch seam. And yeah, we'll just run this one through really quick.
Wow.
But so you do that a bunch, you sew them all together, and then we're gonna move over to our ironing board here. So we sew all of our pieces together, and then we cut them apart again. and then we sew them together again. And that's kind of the basis of quilting. But you see, I've got a few pieces here. So these get ironed, and then once they're ironed, we trim them down so they're nice and square again. So then we have a bunch of squares again. So once we have all of those pieces, we start sewing those together into rows. So this little unit's been sewn into rows. And then the next step after that is we would go and sew each of these rows together to get our quilt top. So that is all happening in week 2 of the class. And then week 3 is when we actually get into some quilting. So what I have here, this is a quilt top. We call this a quilt sandwich. So we've got a quilt top, we've got batting, and then a backing fabric. And then we're gonna go over how to get this all stitched on the sewing machine. So again, we'll go over how to get really nice straight quilting lines, how to come up with a good design.
That's a computer. That's not a sewing machine, right? I'm gonna share. My laptop right now is sitting on a sewing machine that's in like a stand that my wife and I picked up for $20 like 7 years ago and never used until we had to make masks. And I figured out how to use a sewing machine. She showed me.
I think a lot of people did that same thing.
Sure.
These sewing machines we have here are from our neighbors at Sewing Machine Service Co.
Hey, right on.
They're right around the corner. They
Yeah.
got us set up with these really nice Burnett machines. But if anyone's looking for a sewing machine, I highly recommend them. They're a great company.
They've been around since 1942, y'all.
Yes, they've been around for quite some time. So that is week 3. We go over quilting. And then last week is week 4, and we go over binding. So this is what binding looks like before it's attached to your quilt. So we'll go over how to make this, how to do the math to figure out how much you need. And then we'll go over attaching it to your quilt so you have a nice finished edge on your quilt. So that is kind of a very quick overview of making a quilt, which takes far longer than the few minutes we just spent.
Yeah, otherwise I'd have a house full of quilts, right?
Yes, I think everyone would. But I hope that the next time you see a quilt or someone gives you a quilt, you maybe have a little bit more appreciation for the hours of work that went into it.
Definitely. That is for sure. I am a quilt fan. I'm terrified of trying to cut a straight line, even though you had the rotary cutter, things like that. But I have a question real quick. I actually have been in your shop, and if you're watching out there and you haven't, I highly encourage it. It'll just make you have a complete Zen feeling and good vibes. It's a definite good vibe shop. Are those instruments and tools available at your store, Tawnee?
They are. So they're available for sale. And then for anyone who might be interested in taking the class, if you don't have those materials, I can check out a set to you to borrow for the class, and then you just return it when the class is done.
Wow, that is generous. That's a fantastic option. And those fabrics that you have are just amazing. So, your normal average person might not be able to go in and say what goes with what. Is that something that you have a great eye for, and you're willing to stick your neck out there for their quilt?
Yeah, no, so we'll walk over towards some of the fabric here.
Sure.
Week 1, we do go over how to select fabric. And then otherwise, I'm always happy to help people choose fabric. I do have kits made up. So if you're not sure how to put fabric together, I have these kits that have the quilt pattern and the exact amount of fabric you need all ready to go. So this is a really easy option if you're not sure about putting together fabric. But otherwise, I do love to help people pick out fabric for quilts. That's one of my favorite things to do. And I just got a bunch of new inventory in, so our shelves are actually pretty full right now.
Cute.
Yeah, that's groovy. I love the little packs. That makes it a little bit easier, especially for your first go at doing something like this.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of the thinking out of it when those decisions are kind of already made for you.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm loving it.
how do you sign up for your classes? Just go to
So
your website.
all of our classes are online. I sent the link, so hopefully someone on the technical side can maybe post the link in the comments somewhere. But otherwise, everything's on our website. You just go to the classes page and everything's there, and you can sign up through the website.
Fun. And now, do you sign up for each one of the 4 classes, or do you sign up for a series?
Yeah, so I broke them out into 4 weeks, so that way I know a lot of people have maybe made a quilt before, maybe they just want to improve their binding, or maybe they just want to learn how to piece a little bit better. So that way there's an option to take just one of the classes, or you can take all 4 and do the whole process and make a whole quilt.
Amazing. Super
I
fun.
love it.
Yeah.
So thanks for taking us to the land of quilts.
Yeah, thanks for having me, you guys. And I will mention, you know, quilting's kind of the main jam here, but we do all kinds of other classes. I have a macrame class coming up tomorrow. We've got embroidery classes. So we do quite a variety of crafty things here.
Fun.
You do. So those classes start in September, correct?
Yes, so they run Wednesday evenings, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. via Zoom, September 9th through 30th.
Perfect.
Fun.
All right.
I think our very own Farid is going to sign up. I'm going to share what you posted, Farid, with the audience. He said, middle school quilting is the only class he ever failed. So,
Oh no.
oh, you're a B plus. I'm going to graduate.
We can help you redeem yourself.
So Tawnee, before we let you go, I have another question. Recently, you had another class that you offered, and it was called titled "The Stitch and Bitch." Did that involve dogs?
So no, the Stitch and Bitch actually isn't a class. I'm quite active on Instagram. So Thursdays at 5 p.m. I jump on Instagram live, and I usually work on a little sewing project and then just kind of chat with my followers about whatever we need to bitch about that week.
I love it. And I commend you from giving people a creative outlet, especially during this time. It is much needed, and I love it. I saw it and wanted to share that because, you know,
thank you.
people
They're
like
really
you
fun.
do
We've
that.
been having a lot of fun at them. So,
And let's just
Thursdays
be real.
at 5 on Instagram if you want to join.
Yep. And let's just be real. Those are things that we need. And then the last question I had for you, when did your passion develop for all things handmade?
So ever since I was a kid, my mom was a very crafty person and a very, I'm not going to pay money for something I could make myself. So there was a lot of trips to the craft store and just kind of figuring things out on our own. And I've ever since then have always loved just making things. And it was about 7, 8 years ago that I made my first quilt, and then I was pretty much done. I loved it. Now I've recently started making garments, and so that's kind of taken over some of my quilting time.
Yeah, and I'm digging those.
Right? Did you
Go
make
ahead,
it?
David.
Sorry. I was just curious if Tawnee, did you make the dress you're wearing too?
I did make the dress I'm wearing.
Groovy, I love it. So let's not go backwards and keep COVID, so relevant, but let's see, what is your vision for Wyldwood Creative for the future?
So for the future, for the rest of this year, I'm kind of at this point planning that online classes are going to be the norm. But the benefit of online classes is a lot of people have been able to connect with people in other states and take a class together. So that's been really kind of a unintended benefit of doing everything online. But ultimately, the vision is to create a makerspace that's very inclusive and welcoming. I know a lot of people are hesitant to get into sewing or a certain craft. They feel like, I'm not good enough, I'm not crafty enough, I'm not going to be good at it. And so the vision of this place is really to kind of leave all that at the door, come in, make something for the simple joy of making something, and don't worry necessarily about what the finished product is, but focus more on just the joy of creating. So that's kind of the main vision here.
That sounds awesome, and I'm digging it. And I'm lucky to live in a town that has somebody like you that is willing to put themselves out there to provide that kind of space. So thank you very much.
Thank you
And
for having
I
me,
might
guys.
not make it.
I love being in Renton.
Yeah, I might not make it, but I might buy it. How's that?
Works for me. I have all kinds of, I like to support a lot of local artists. So I have all kinds of little goodies that are made by local artists. So if you're not the crafty type, don't worry. You can still get a lot of really gorgeous handmade items. And here's
Aw.
Ooh, happy
No,
dog
yeah.
day! All right, Tawnee. Well, thanks again for joining us. We hope that you fill those classes and that we see quilts being handed down generation to generation. It's
Yeah,
a good,
thanks for having me.
yes. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thanks, Tony.
So there we have it. We just went through a 4-step process of a high-level introduction to quilt making, and I heard that there was math involved
Yep.
and precision.
Precision, exactly.
Yeah. So what?
I think we can do it. I definitely want to see Farid's finished product, so I'm excited for that.
I do too. Hey, I got a random factoid. Last one.
Last one.
Last one. So 3 dogs survived the sinking of the Titanic.
It's crazy.
They were small dogs. There were 2 Pomeranians and 1 Pekingese. Rumor has it that one of the ladies on the Titanic wrapped her dog in a blanket and they thought it was a baby. So she was able to take a seat on the lifeboat with it. So,
Wow.
just saying. Yeah.
I mean, too bad Jack and Ruth didn't figure out something like that, right? Ruth? Is it Ruth?
No, Jack. Oh no, I'm having brain fog. Rose and Jack. Rose and Jack, you're out of here.
Yeah.
We're only saving dogs. Yeah. So next week, episode 20.
Episode 20.
Episode 20. We got that coming up on us. And I'm going to leave with a quote from one of our famous game show hosts, Bob Barker. Do you remember him?
Of course.
Of course. It's not no Showcase Showdown, but remember.
Yep.
Help control the pet population and have your pet spayed or neutered.
Love it.
That's my advice for today.
Perfect.
And thank you for everybody who joined us tonight for going to the dogs, and happy National Dog Day.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Or cheers. Or double cheers.